madness at Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. With Conquest incentives, get up to $9,000 off 19 Equinox, or $3,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Up to $14,000 off new 19 Suburban and Tahoes. Up to $8,000 off new 18 Malibus. Or choose up to $3,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. 25% off new 19 Cruze. $6,500 off new 19 Trax. Receive up to $18,000 off, or 0% for 72 months. Plus $8,500 off the last remaining 18 Corvette Z06. Won't last. March Markdown Madness. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game, Shields.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community. You want to get
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit IowaRadiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
A lot of talent on display today. I'm Tyler French, alongside me today, Jackie Sapp, and we are coming to you live from Dallas Center Grimes High School for the Iowa Basketball Coaches Association All-Star Game. Top players in the senior class from around the state of Iowa, and we've already gotten to see some great games so far today here at DCG.
Yes, we have. We've got to see both boys and girls of the, what was it, the Northwest and the Southwest that we saw in the boys and also in the girls. So coming up is the championship game, which is the Southeast and Northeast for the girls.
Yeah, it's funny to show that, you know, there's a lot of talent on that eastern side of the state when the championship game in both girls and boys is Northeast versus Southeast. And there are some big names that unfortunately are both here and were unable to make it for this game. But there is going to be talent on hand that the state of Iowa has got to be happy to see. A lot of these players are going to change the face of college basketball over the next 4 years.
And I think it also gives the individuals a chance to showcase their skills. And lots of times when you're playing with talent equal to your ability, I think you see, sometimes more than what you would, because obviously on your high school teams, your ability levels aren't all the same.
And one of the nice things, too, is it gives you the opportunity to, not just see the top players, but you're going to be playing with and against people that you've never seen before.
Exactly. And so you have no clue, what their tendencies are like you would have in the regular season.
And they are currently awarding the Class Players of the Year as well as Mr. and Miss Basketball. Some of the Players of the Year able to make it and were a part of the festivities today here for the All-Star Games. And also just a great thing for Mr. and Miss Basketball this year. Zoe Young, Miss Basketball out of Valley, heading to Maryland for college after her graduation in May, as she's receiving her award currently from Tom Betts, the president of the Iowa Basketball Coaches Association. And then coming up in the boys game, actually today, we've got co-Mr. Basketball. It's the first time since 1999 that Iowa's Mr. Basketball goes to two players. That year it was Kirk Heinrich and Nick Collison. And most people around the state of Iowa know how exactly they went on to do throughout their college and NBA careers.
Yeah, they forgot to stay in the state of Iowa. They went to Kansas, but they were both awesome players.
And they ended up both being inducted this year, 20 years after that they won this award. They were both inducted into the Iowa Basketball High School Hall of Fame this year. And the co-Mr. Basketball Awards this year going to Jake Hilmer out of the undefeated state champion, North Lynn, as they won the 2A championship this year. And then on the other side, who are actually part of the Southeast team, Mr. DJ Carton, co-Mr. Basketball. Do not believe he is here. He is an Ohio State prospect coming into this season. And, if he's unable to play, they have had an amazing season for the two of them, as you see Hilmer and Young pictured with Mr. Betts, and just great young talent on display here today.
Well, you were saying that Hilmer's father and grandfather were his coaches, which I think is, extremely a privilege for him as a young man to have your father and your grandfather part of your coaching as you're a high school athlete. And there's probably no one prouder than what they are.
Yeah, and when you've got a player like Jake Hilmer, North Lynn had an amazing season this year, undefeated, 26-0. They lost the 1A state championship in 2018 to Grandview Christian, who a player from them made it here as Ontura Montez, a part of the Southwest team here this year. And Grandview Christian three-peating as 1A state champs, but North Lynn playing 2A this year, able to avoid playing against GVC and run the table this year and win that championship. We'll talk more about that during the boys game, but we got to talk about some girls basketball here, and there is a lot of talent between this Northeast and Southeast matchup as well.
Yes, and to be honest with you, really the only name of both groups is Megan Meyer out of Mason City, who is an extremely talented player. And they played at the 4A level, but playing all 5A schools in the Metro. She was a tough person to guard for him. And you said that you were familiar with the girl from Keokuk, Mackenzie Northup?
Yep, she a player for the Chiefs down there in the southeast tip of Iowa, leading the Chiefs to the regional final, losing to the eventual state champion North Scott in kind of blowout fashion, 61-28. Final score in that game to close out her senior year. Unfortunately, I do not believe she is actually here today. She's also a member of the Keokuk soccer team. So, busy time for these high schoolers. A lot of them dual athletes as well, and that's one of the nice things I've seen is a lot of track athletes, soccer, softball, volleyball. And that's one of the great things about high school is this opportunity to dual sports and just be a part of so many teams in one year of basketball.
I was just reading an article about the dual sport athlete and how they are probably much, I don't want to say more likely, but they're not as likely to get injuries because they develop different muscles because of different skill sets. And also the boy or girl, for instance, in the consolation, Peyton Williams, he played football, basketball, and baseball at Johnston, and he's going to Iowa on a baseball scholarship. You know, that's his primary sport, but the fact that he's just out there competing, and I think for any athlete, any high school athlete, it's so vital to a program.
I've talked with a lot of high school coaches and a lot of college coaches, and a lot of the time college coaches actually prefer seeing that way. You know, like you mentioned, you're not getting that same wear and tear on your body, the same workouts every day. You're diversifying, and it shows your ability to deal with adversity.
Exactly.
In the sports. And Williamson, the kid you mentioned, the #1 baseball recruit in the state of Iowa.
And he signed as a junior. He signed a year ago.
Yeah, and it's amazing that, you know, to have that success in baseball, but also be considered one of the top players in your region in basketball, an entirely different sport altogether.
Well, and I think, for instance, I just know Peyton because I teach at Johnson. He's just an extremely nice young man, and the fact you get to see how he connects with kids in all different sports. So sometimes when you just have that athlete that's, you know, in a one-sport athlete, you don't see how they converse or how they get along with, you know, other athletes from other sports. So I think that's another thing, and I think that's what college coaches, I know they do. I know they look at, it's not just a skill set, but it's also the chemistry and how well you get along with your teammates.
And speaking of chemistry and teammates, we talked a little bit about Megan Meyer on one side. On the southeast side, we talked about Mackenzie Northup, but two other players that could have a big impact on today's game out of the same high school, former Grinnell Tigers, Macy Harris and Naomi Jackson. They're used to playing on this court. Grinnell and DCG, both part of the Little Hawkeye Conference, and they had amazing seasons altogether, going to the state tournament, losing in the first round, but winning their first ever Little Hawkeye Conference title this season.
I guess I was not aware of that. And as I look at the roster here, the amazing thing is you've got a mixture of big school and small school. And I know, for instance, in the Girls Coaches Association, they classify them as they have big school play against big school, small school play against small school. So I think this is really special for all to be able to play no matter what the level, you know, or what school you come from.
And it's an opportunity. You know, some of these girls and boys are going to actually be playing together at the next level. There's a couple of different instances where the next level, Briarcliff has made a killing with some of these players from this team. There's a lot of players on one of the girls' teams on the consolation game. There are 2 players from that team going to Briarcliff next year. There's a couple players throughout going to schools together. For one example, Mackenzie Northup going to William Penn on one side, and then on the opposing side, Natasha Cesar out of Waterloo West also going to William Penn. As they're announcing the players and their intentions for next year, as Haley Wallace going to be heading to Minnesota State next year, Megan Meyer going to Iowa, as both of them amazing talents in their own right. Megan Meyer, the player of the year in her class this season, as she was a #2 scorer in the state this year in terms of total points, a great shooter from downtown. She's going to be a big impact player on this side. So you've got the Northeast team in gray this season, as Kaylin Fox from Center Point Urbana, a 2019 state champion. Only 2 losses this year for CPU, and both of those, Marion and WSR, a level above them at 4A, and the biggest thing, both of them were state tournament teams this past year. So Center Point, a great regular season, and it carried over into the postseason, winning that state championship.
I think so many times you see that where if it's like, for instance, Trainer was a team that got knocked off a year ago, and they came back and they won their class. And I don't see anybody from their squad that's on there, but they had some seniors that were very talented. So I think when you get knocked off one year, you kind of have a little vengeance to get back and win that title.
Announcing the team for Southeast Iowa, coached by John Vandenberg from West Burlington and Matt Zietler from Van Buren. And then the Northeast team, Greg Groen from Cedar Falls and Fred Zeller from West Marshall. One of the things that I absolutely love about seeing with the Northeast side, so Greg Groen, head coach from Cedar Falls, in the last 4 years has put 3 girls at Wartburg College. And now he's coaching another Wartburg College commit, Aubrey Fisher, going to Wartburg for basketball and track. Kind of a fun thing for me, a recent alum there is also Paul Yeager, one of our CISN members as well, a 98 alum. So always going to throw out a mention of that if I get the opportunity to.
Well, I got a shout out for Fred Zeller. Fred Zeller was a assistant basketball coach at LaPorte City when I was a high school. Well, and when I was high school, I graduated in 1974, and this man is still coaching. He has been at West Marshall for forever. They got beat out in the regional finals this year, but he does an excellent job with any team that he's ever worked with, and he's been very competitive. So shout out to Coach Zeller.
As the team's now making their way onto the floor, and will be a little bit of a rough patch at times getting names correct, as you know, a lot of these girls we've never seen before.
No, you're absolutely right. So it'll be interesting to see what talents they bring to the board, who's the three-point shooters, and doesn't look like we have a lot of size in terms of post players, but that doesn't mean anything.
And it's going to go to Southeast on the first side, and it's dropped in underneath by Kaylee Roblewski out of Bettendorf. And 2-0 lead early on for the Southeast Iowa squad. Three-pointer back the other way from the right wing, no good, and a defensive rebound brought in by Southeast. On the outside again, Southeast listed with Mackenzie Northup at number 24. That's not the case here tonight. We don't exactly know who number 24 is based on the roster. And that ball's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay right here with the Southeast squad.
The minute she scores, we'll find out.
Ball inbounded into Emily Lang. She'll lay it in on the left side to make it now a 4-0 lead. 7:22 left on the clock in the first half. Clock will stop every 4 minutes for substitutions, getting an opportunity to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to play in this game. Lang, step back. Fading away, can't get that shot to fall. Rebound brought in by Fox for Northeast Iowa. Fox going to coast. She'll give it off, and that is Brianna Baker-Bruce. As a three-pointer buried by Natasha Caesar out of Waterloo West.
It's nice to see they're playing man-to-man. Excuse me, I thought maybe they would play more of a zone. The gray team is playing. They are playing a zone. Black team is playing a man-to-man defense. And the gray team is definitely pushing the ball every time they've gotten a hold of it.
The stop and pop by Wall, no good. Attacking back the other way, number 24 once again. Layup up, can't get it to fall. Offensive rebound brought in by Roblewski, though. Guarded in the post, shot up, gets the shooter's roll, and it falls. Roblewski with her second basket.
We probably should say really today's the only day that they've had to work together as a team. So, and in terms of running any sophisticated offense, you're not going to see that. But they're very talented. They know the game. So they probably can read each other as they play on the floor here.
Speaking of reading each other, that's a three-pointer for Naomi Jackson. Credit her high school teammate Macy Harris with that assist. So the Grinnell Tigers producing a three-pointer on that attempt. Wall back out into the corner, thrown to Fox. Fox attacking on the dribble. Nice spin move towards the baseline. Can't get the shot to fall. Ball tipped away, but eventually brought in by Lang along that baseline.
Another thing, too, that their basketball season for a lot of these players, they've been 5 weeks out, so the condition level could play a part.
So Roblewski, another dominant showing down low. This year for Bettendorf, led the team in points, assists, steals, blocks, and rebounds. And is also a member of the Bettendorf softball team. Harris getting in and getting the shot up. Shot no good. Rebounded by Triple B, Brianna Baker-Bruce out of Janesville. From the right side of the lane, shot no good. Rebounded by Southeast, and they'll bring it back on the other side. 11-5 their lead as we're a minute away from the first substitution as Jackson hits her second three.
Here's another thing, too, is I don't get to see some of these smaller school athletes because we do mostly the Metro, so it's nice to see the talent level that these players bring, you know, from Grinnell and Highland and, you know, Iowa City West that you normally would not see here in Central Iowa.
Couldn't agree more. I got an opportunity to see some of these girls a little bit, or at least hear about them working in Southeast Iowa this past year. It's a little disappointing for me not to have Northup here today. Covered her for the last year down at Keokuk, but overall, a lot of talented players on this year's squads in the Northeast and Southeast.
And she's going to be a statesman. Is that right? Wayne Penn State is a statesman?
Correct, on both accounts.
Yep.
Shot block goes out of bounds. It'll stay right here with the Southeast squad. And Harris takes the ball out of bounds underneath their own offensive basket. Actually, no, excuse me. That was kicked into Harris from number 24. Layup from Harris, no good. Follows her own miss and follows it again. This time she'll dribble it out. Gives it off to Wroblewski at the high post. Dribbles it in. Kicks it back out. Another three-point attempt from Jackson. Now 2 of 4 on the day from downtown. On the other side, Wall from the left wing. Gets it to fall from downtown. And that'll be the first substitution, as whole new units will come in for the Southeast squad, while on the other side, Megan Meyer and 3 other Northeast players will check in.
So we only have 9. That's Northup would have been on the gray squad, correct?
No, she would have been on the Southeast squad. That's why I'm trying to figure out who number 24 is.
Huh.
Down low, there's a foul, as it was Jessica Musgrave out of South Tama attacking hard off the dribble, and she'll go to the free throw line for a pair.
Well, another thing, too, is you have spring breaks that are on at this time. There's just a lot of things going on. I'm sure they hold it this weekend because it's between sports and to try to catch the kids that you can catch.
Agreed, as the first shot from Musgrave, no good. An Upper Iowa commit going into next season. Averaged nearly 15 points and 7.5 rebounds a game this year. Also led her team in assists throughout the regular season. Shot was missed. And Haley Wallace across, and she'll kick it over. As Triple B, Brianna Baker-Bruce was the only player to stay in. She'll pick up the assist. As the 3A Player of the Year, Megan Meyer, buries that three-pointer to get a Northeast squad back within 3. Down low shot up and good, and an opportunity at the old-fashioned three-point play for Allison Stokes out of Highland.
Last time I remember Stokes' name was the University of Iowa men's basketball team.
Stokes at the free throw line, a double-double average this year, and was second in the state with blocks a season. Not the biggest body.
No.
But averaged over 5 blocks a game this season, using some of that athleticism to be able to swat shots and protect the rim.
She had to have been a volleyball player.
Grace Renaud's pass picked off, and coming back the other way, Amanda Smith. Layup up and good. Pushing it back to an 8-point contest in favor of the Southeast Iowa squad. Attacking hard, Meyer kicks it out. Three-pointer from the corner. Back of the rim, no good. Rebound tracked in on the offensive side, and then the pass from Renaud was tipped away, but a foul called against Jessica Musgrave. Just the first foul against the Southeast squad here in the first half of action. Meyer head fakes, drives in, has it knocked away. Triple team down low, pass tipped away, and another steal for Southeast Iowa. Musgrave attacking the offensive end again, can't get the shot to fall. Right there on the putback, though, AC Jellison out of Seymour. And she'll be going to the free throw line for a pair of shots as she's fouled.
You know, you take a look at Seymour's, probably one of our smaller schools, excuse me, here in Iowa. And to find an athlete of this caliber is just awesome. You know, there's pockets of really good kids, and lots of times you think that good kids only come from the big school. Is not true.
And that's just one of the great things about Iowa, is that you have so many schools spread out, that you have so much talent at each school. I mean, obviously you have a team, you know, maybe like a Grand Valley Christian or Grandview Christian, where as being a private school, they're able to recruit some of those players.
Come on, they don't recruit.
The fact that you have 3 D1 athletes may say otherwise.
I got to agree with you.
21-11 our score in favor of the Southeast Iowa team. On the left wing, three-pointer from Allison Stokes, no good. And Northeast Iowa's on the attack on the other side, led by Leah Van Wielden out of Marion. Triple B kicks it out, now thrown around the outside. Van Wielden will fire the three, shot no good. And now attack on the right sideline. It's thrown ahead to Musgrave. Musgrave in the post, loses it, but able to recover, throws it in to Julison. Shot was knocked away. Now Musgrave attack out of the dribble, kicks it back out. Three-pointer attempt off the side of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Northeast Iowa.
Northeast Iowa's getting some good looks, but they just aren't falling for him.
Nice post move from Renaud underneath, but can't get it to fall. An air bank on that shot from in close. Off the dribble, it's Morgan. She'll bring it back out on the right wing. Down low is looking to throw it into the post, but picked off by Baker Bruce.
Oh, nice move.
Yeah, Bruce was using some of that speed. The track member for the Janesville Wildcats, runs the 100-meter, 200-meter, and also in the high jump. You want to talk about good athletes from small schools.
And they have a good volleyball program. I don't know if she plays volleyball, but they have an excellent volleyball program.
Out on the left wing, it is Baker Bruce with it again. Cross-court pass. Couple ball fakes, and it'll be given back up top to Meyer. Meyer attacking the dribble. The defense keeping an eye on her after she averaged nearly 25 a game. She kicks it out, and Wallace will bury the three. 41% from downtown in the regular season. 9-point game in favor of Southeast Iowa as we're approaching our second substitution. Left wing for Southeast team, attacking off the dribble. Number 40, Caitlin Morgan can't get the shot to fall. Julison down low, can't get her shot to fall either, and Meyer will bring it down on the other side. Meyer steps through the double team, can't get the shot to fall, but the ball tipped out to her. Baker Bruce thrown into the corner for number 52, Renaud. Shot no good, but Meyer, another offensive rebound, tries to get the up and under move.
Try to get the foul.
It was too deep underneath, and then the three was missed by Van Wielden, and that'll bring us to our second substitution. As a starting lineup for the Southeast squad will return on one side, and Northeast will keep one player on the floor as Aubrey Fisher, Natasha Caesar, Kaylin Fox, and Sam Wall all return to the floor. Macy Harris has the ball knocked away on the right side. Jackson attempts another three, hits her third one of the afternoon. 9 points for Naomi Jackson.
Fire.
Now 3 of 5 from behind that three-point arc. Fisher attacking out the dribble, kicks it over. Three-point attempt for Renaud, no good. Renaud, a three-sport athlete at Iowa Falls. Can't get that shot to fall either, and it's rebounded by Robluski. Harris looking to attack off the dribble. She'll give it on a handoff to Lang. Lang, she'll fire the three and buries it from downtown. Another three-pointer for Southeast Iowa. And we got a 15-point contest. In the right corner, trying to answer a three with one of her own, and she does. Goes to Callan Fox. Cuts the lead back down to 12. High post, Robluski, dribble handoff, and given right back to her. She'll turn, face, can't get the shot to fall, and it's rebounded by Fox. Excuse me, by Sam Wall. Wall thought about a stop and pop, but she'll give it off to Fisher. Fisher thrown over to Renaud. Renaud kicks it back out. Three-point attempt. This one no good out of the hands of Fox.
I suppose we should have expected there to be a lot of threes with the size of players that are on the floor, because we really don't have any true, what I would call true post players.
If there is the post player, it's got to be Kylie Robluski and how she's played so far. There's been no answer for her in the post so far in this game.
A lot of penetration, a lot of kick.
Drive from Sam Wall was good, got to her spot, but a wild shot on the left-handed attempt. Lang fires another three, buries another three. And Southeast Iowa doubling up on the Northeast squad here with 7:55 left in the clock in the first half. Fisher kicks it into the corner. Driving in was Renaud, picks up her dribble. Trying to feed it down low, taken away by Lang. And now Lang looking to go coast to coast. Only one back to stop her is Fisher. Shot up from Lang is good. Fisher a little bit undersized there, trying to stop the nice attack from number 42. Number 42, Emily Lang. Head to Davenport University in Michigan in the fall.
That's the first time I've ever heard of that school.
I was a little surprised when I came across it myself.
I thought Davenport, the chiropractic school, Palmer, but...
So Carson Fisk is the one wearing number 24, was listed as number 32 coming into the game, but she's wearing number 24 in place of Mackenzie Northup here this afternoon. Fisher drive in, has her shot knocked away, and may have been blocked by Julison under the basket. Taking out of bounds is Caesar out of Waterloo West. Shot down low, no good. Another rebound for Wroblewski. Turns face, and she'll give it off to the point guard, Harris, who will bring it back on the other side. Excuse me, no, it's Fox. As Fisk gets that shot to fall. Back-to-back shots knocked in by Carson Fisk. Had a great moment in her final game, scoring her 1,000th career point for Linville Sully to close out her stellar career, and now playing here in the All-Star game representing her school.
They have a rich tradition at Linville Sully. 6-on-6, even the 5-player game, they've had some great teams in the past.
And just adding to that great tradition, Carson Fisk playing in this game came in averaging 18.6 rebounds a contest on the season. And that's been one of the biggest things, just seeing the great scoring numbers and other statistics from a lot of these players throughout the year. And it's just kind of mind-boggling to think of how much scoring we've had on these 4 teams on the girls' side and 4 teams on the boys' side as well.
I mean, when you see 18, 20 points a game, that's kind of unheard of. You kind of expect 12, 14, maybe 16 at the high.
Another substitution coming in as one player will stay on for the Northeast squad once again. As Baker Bruce and it'll be Callan Fox staying on the floor this time around for Northeast Iowa. Ball inbounded into Musgrave, and Southeast team will get into their offense. Looking to attack off the dribble, gives it off to Morgan. Morgan throwing back up top. And now Musgrave in the high post. Got a ball fake, got into her spot, put the shot up, and got it to fall.
Nice move, nice fake.
19-point game in favor of the Southeast Iowa squad as we're approaching the 5.5-minute mark in the first half of action. Down low, shot up from Van Wielden is good. Only averaged about 8 points a game, but she's been very aggressive here in the first half.
And handle the ball. A lot of these players, it's not just their shooting, but being able to cross over, dribble with both hands. I mean, that's amazing to see.
And Van Wielden showcasing her defensive ability. Wallace for 3. And they're quickly cutting this lead down back to a 14-point game after 5 straight from Van Wielden and Haley Wallace. Taking out the dribble, ball knocked out of bounds, and that'll send Caitlin Morgan to the free throw line for the first time. 13 points per game throughout this season so far for Iowa City West.
You know, sometimes with these games they have rules where you have to play man-to-man. Maybe they play man-to-man for a half, and then the second half they play zone. I'm not sure, but I have seen all-star games that are like that.
Morgan knocked in the first free throw. Second one off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Baker Bruce. Bruce off the left sideline. Thought about a step back, but she'll give it off to Van Wielden. Van Wielden 1 step in front of the three-point line. Couldn't get it to fall. The putback rebound and putback attempt also no good for the Northeast team. Up top, nice ball fake from Morgan as she attacks in, gets the layup to fall. She's got the last 3
nice
for
scoop.
Southeast.
Underhand scoop.
Lead back up to 17. Top of the key, it's Meyer with the ball, picks up her dribble, thrown over to the right side. Walsh will reverse it to Baker Bruce. Bruce dribble handoff to Meyer as BBB was looking for MM and has got knocked away and brought in by Morgan. Another turnover. I think we actually a first timeout we've seen. It'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back here on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
So the first time out we've seen in this game, or really any of the games so far, they've been clicking along pretty well so far in the contest as Morgan down low, picks up a dribble, buried in the post, has to throw it back out, and it's caught by Stokes. Stokes back to Morgan. Now Stokes posting up on the right block, lowers that shoulder, gets into the post, but her shot way too strong off the backboard. Baker Bruce gives it off to Meyer, now into the corner, wide open, Haley Wallace. Buries it from downtown. You can't leave a shooter that strong open from downtown.
We should probably mention that Meyer's older sister, Mackenzie, plays for Iowa, and probably she's glad that Iowa played yesterday because I'm sure she'll be going to Iowa City tomorrow to watch her older sister.
Mackenzie Meyer has had a great season for the Hawkeyes this year. And Megan Meyer will be joining the Hawkeye squad next season after winning the 3A Player of the Year and averaging 25 points a game in this season for Mason City. Baker Bruce thrown over, caught by Van Wielden. Van Wielden attacking, and she gets the lefty layup to fall. So credit that assist to Brianna Baker Bruce. She led her team in points and assists this season and showcased a little bit of that dual threat ability in this contest. Hesitation at first for Stokes, but she buries the three. A lot of offense, and we'd expect nothing less from arguably the two best region teams in the state of Iowa. Van Wielden, another shot attempt, this one from the left corner, can't get it to fall. Coming back the other way, it's Morgan with it once again. Morgan down low as Musgrave wide open. Defense lost track of her on that one. Across half court, Meyer brings it back down. There's a kicked ball called against Southeast Iowa. 2:25 left on the clock here in the first half. Clock will stop again at the 2-minute mark for their substitution. As that three is hit from the top of the key by Callan Fox.
I'd say we'd have some pretty good three-point shooting percentage on both teams.
And the way that the game of basketball has gone in the last 5-10 years, it's not a huge surprise to see this many shots coming from behind that three-point arc anymore.
Well, it really has improved in the girls' game.
Down low, shot no good for Meyer. And it's rebounded by Stokes as the horn sounds. And we're at the 2-minute mark, meaning their substitution. Starting lineup back into the contest for the Southeast team. Well, the Northeast team returns 4 players and keeps Megan Meyer on the floor. We will have the boys contest coming up after this game, as we will have doubleheader action here on the Central Iowa Sports Network of the IBCA All-Star Championships.
And there'll be some stellar talent in that contest.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we're going to be missing 2 of the biggest players in Patrick McCaffrey and DJ Carton. Both players, unfortunately, not here. Got to expect that Patrick McCaffrey's over in Columbus watching his dad and brother in the NCAA tournament and the team that he'll be playing with the Hawkeyes next season.
He would have been a treat to see because I saw him play when he was a sophomore, and that was right after he'd had some health issues. So I would have really liked to see him play as a senior.
And we've talked a lot throughout this game about basketball tradition. How about Iowa City West? Over the last 5-6 years, that team has just run amok on the eastern side of the state.
Yes, they have. Well, and not just in basketball. I mean, you take a look at just the Iowa City schools. They've been competitive not only in basketball, but also some other sports. Same thing on the girls' side, Iowa City High. I don't know. You know, when you take a look at talent, though, in certain schools, it goes in streaks. As I look at some of these schools who were, you know, Ackley, Geneva, Wellsburg, Steamboat Rock, they were really potent in the early 2000s. You know, it just kind of goes in cycles.
And I think that's one of the things you've seen a little bit in Southeast Iowa As you know, Mount Pleasant, always a huge school in terms of boys basketball. Fairfield's been the top team from the girls' side down there.
Well, Keokuk's had some teams that have been in the state tournament, you know, in the early 2000s, which you never really thought of Keokuk as being a basketball, you know, girls' basketball school. So.
And, you know, they put one player into this game. Unfortunately, we mentioned her a couple times. Mackenzie Northup not able to make it for this weekend. But they've got a building program, still had the same head coach for the last near 20 seasons as Meyer splits the defense.
I was going to ask you, who is the coach?
Michael Davis.
Okay.
His daughter was the leading scorer the last couple years. They made the state tournament in 2016 in her sophomore year. As Harris cuts through the defense, pulling a Megan Meyer on the other side. But her younger sister actually now going to be a senior next season and the top returning player. As a shot at the end of the first half is no good. And the score at the halftime break, offense across the board, 100 combined points between the two teams. 58-42 our score at the break. We'll take a quick minute break and we'll be back with an interview with IBCA President Tom Betts. You're watching IBCA basketball on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
And welcome back on the Central Iowa Sports Network as we are at halftime of the girls All-Star Championship game. We are joined by Coach Stillnauer from Wapello High School. Coach, what was this experience like for you and your players this Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, it's been a good time. I think the kids are having a good time, and the teams have been really competitive, so it'll be we're just waiting for it to get to our next game.
So going into this championship game this afternoon, what are some of the things you're looking to see from some of the top players in the state of Iowa?
And we're just hoping that they share the ball with each other like they did the first game and play a little bit of defense.
So what do you think it says about some of the talent on the eastern side of the state when you've got North versus Southeast on the girls' side and North versus Southeast on the boys' side as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of good players on the eastern side of the state right now. It's been some really good basketball the last couple of years.
And now when you're getting to coach players, you know, that you've not necessarily seen before or guys that have never been a part of your team, what are some of the messages you get across them working with them just in a short period of time like this?
Just to share the ball and help everyone showcase their talent. And most of them are such good players; they do a really good job of that.
So now with Wapello High, what were your thoughts on how your team did this season?
We were in the state tournament last year. We lost 4 starters, and we ended up being 12-9, and we had a nice year with only 1 starter back, and he's playing here today. And we had some young kids playing, so it's a good go in between here. I thought we were very successful.
So looking forward to another great season going into next year, even without Keaton Mitchell?
Yeah, I think we're going to be okay.
So Keaton Mitchell going to play at Truman State next year. What do you think he'll bring for head coach Jeff Horner?
He's very athletic, 4-man, very good rebounder. He's just coming off a mono though right now, so he's getting a little worn down. But we have to kind of watch his minutes. But he's very athletic. If he gets open in the lane, you'll see how athletic he is.
So last game, you get to coach him. What are you hoping for with this last opportunity?
I just hope he has fun and enjoys the experience.
So you guys are actually without a couple of the biggest guns, eastern side of the state, and Patrick McCaffrey and DJ Carton, but still a lot of talent across the board.
Yeah, and I think the Northeast got some really good talent, so it should be a good game, we're hoping.
So one player I got to ask about, what have you seen from Cole Henry? He's a guy, I went to Norwalk High School, so watching him in the state championship against my alma mater, the kid's got a lot of talent. What have you seen from him in the first game today?
Well, he's a very good passer. I've known Cole since he's been a little kid. Both of my sons played for his dad in college. So what makes him so good, he's 6'10", he's a very good passer, very athletic.
All right, so Coach, I want to wish you luck this afternoon. For you just as a coach, what is it like to be part of the Iowa Basketball Coaches Association All-Star Game?
Oh, it's a fun thing. This is my third time doing it, and I've enjoyed every one of them.
What has made this opportunity a little bit different from the other two?
Well, I'm getting older, so it's probably gonna be my last one. So it's been a fun deal, and the coach I'm coaching with is my nephew. He's the Oskaloosa coach, Ryan Parker.
Oh, Ryan Parker, yeah. So you got one of your nephew's boys. You got one of your boys. If it is your last time, not a bad way to go out.
Yep, it'll be fun.
Well, Coach, I want to say thank you for joining us, and we'll be back here in about a minute. You are watching Iowa Basketball Coaches Association All-Star Championship Saturday on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Markdown madness at Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. With Conquest incentives, get up to $9,000 off 19 Equinox, or $3,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Up to $14,000 off new 19 Suburban and Tahoes. Up to $8,000 off new 18 Malibus. Or choose up to $3,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. 25% off new 19 Cruise. $6,500 off new 19 Trax. Receive up to $18,000 off, or 0% for 72 months. Plus $8,500 off the last remaining 18 Corvette Z06. Won't last. March Markdown madness. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com. The March Markdown Madness.
To everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game, Shields.
Faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community. You want to get stronger, faster.
And welcome back to the Central Iowa Sports Network. We're at halftime of the Girls Iowa Basketball Coaches Association All-Star Game Championship Saturday. 58-42 our score at halftime. It's been a great game, a lot of offense, a lot of good shots knocked down, and we're going to see the brightest young talent the state of Iowa has to offer moving into the college ranks next season.
A lot of three-point shooting.
Yeah.
Lots.
And we talked a little bit about the boys' side of your boy from Johnston, that, you know, the dual sport athletes. One player that I haven't been able to talk enough about, Grace Renaud, a member of the volleyball team as well as the softball team at Iowa Falls, led the volleyball team to a 28-7 record.
Wow.
This year, 188 kills, 25 aces, 72 blocks. And last year as a junior, hit 323 on the softball team as well.
And so you wonder what her premier sport is.
Yeah. And obviously going to be one of the top talents she's playing in the championship game here. 14 points, 7 rebounds, and led Iowa Falls to a 3-loss season this year, as Iowa Falls had a solid year, just wasn't able to make it happen come postseason time.
Yeah, sometimes it's the draws that you get, and a team gets hot, and then you don't make it in. You've had a great year, and
as we are getting back underway, the ball inbounded into Brianna Baker-Bruce, as she'll kick it over to the side now to Caesar, the top. She'll fire the three. It's an air bank, not the greatest shot from Natracia Caesar at Waterloo West. Caesar, another future statesman, playing for William Penn next year. one of the top D1 NAIA schools out in there in the country.
They just got a new coach. It's his second year, Steve Williamson. He is from our alma mater, Iowa Wesleyan, and he turned that program around, and he's doing the same thing with William Penn and getting some good recruits.
And, yeah, he's got 2 recruits playing that were at least named to the teams that are playing here in this afternoon. As a shot from number 14, Jessica Musgrave, hit the side of the rim and then just fell through the net, getting that shooter's roll at the best opportunity time. Shot down low from Fisher, blocked away and brought in. Now coming back to the other side, it is the Southeast Iowa squad. Nice ball fake. And the three-pointer is buried by Kaylin Morgan on the other side of the floor.
It's like one pass, boom.
And that's the evolution of the game of basketball. It's quicker. There's a lot more size necessarily in the girls' side, but on the boys' side, you're going to see a lot of height. Led by Cole Henry, the 6'10 power forward out of Oskaloosa. And if he was here, we'd also see Patrick McCaffrey, who stands at about 6'9" as well.
And he's a guard.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy, insane. I mean, back in the day, that player would have been down inside.
I played with a couple of players that size as Musgrave buries the long 2-pointer, getting the lead up to its biggest of the game at 24 points, 66-42. Long shot off the front of the rim from Brianna Baker-Bruce. But, you know, that's just the way the game of basketball is. You can't just be good at one thing. As a center, you got to be able to defend, rebound. You don't necessarily have to be a big scorer, but you got to be comfortable with the ball in your hand on the offensive side as well.
Well, and another thing, too, is I don't think the average person understands that really as a big man or, a post girl, that footwork is so important. You have to have footwork. And you look at these really good post players and their footwork. And that's one thing that I would probably have to say about the player from Iowa. His name is escaping me right now.
Tyler
Garza.
Garza, yeah, Luca Garza.
Yeah, he's a big body, but he still, needs some footwork improvement. So if these kids can get their fundamentals and get that as a high school athlete, that just, advances them as they go into the college game.
And if you want to have success at that next level, you've got to be able to rely on more than just your size.
Right.
If you're 6'11", 7 foot, you're playing D3 basketball.
Exactly.
It's nothing against D3 athletes, but those are the kids you're expecting that are going high D2, low D1 up to some of the big teams like Duke, North Carolina, as well as Virginia, those teams that are some of the best in the country on the boys' side.
Well, and I don't think, and this is because I'd coached at the college level, is that I think the average person thinks, oh, well, it's the high score. And that's just a little bit of what you're looking at. You're looking for somebody that's got a quick first step, understands the game. It's not just about their offensive skills that makes them a good player. So when I watch the Meyer girl who's going to Iowa, I'm looking right now to see what are the parts of her game that make her, a good player for the University of Iowa.
Yeah, even the smallest schools of Iowa, as you've seen, there are a lot of 18, 19, 20 points per game. Everyone that is a good basketball player in the state of Iowa can score.
Right.
But what do you have that sets you apart from the other top players? That's going to be the difference between you going D2 or going to a school like Iowa, Iowa State, or somewhere big outside of the state of Iowa as well.
And, and I think some of that's knowing what your ability level is, because – some kids they all want to go D1. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to play. So, what do you want your role to be and be able to accept that?
And I'll talk a little bit more on that during the boys' game, but Jake Hilmer from North Lynn, a perfect example of that. He's going to be a dual sport athlete at Upper Iowa next year, so he's going to play D2, but he gets to play both his sports, and he's going to be a big member of the Upper Iowa Peacock team next season.
And probably that's the right level for him to be at.
And he's got the skills. He could play at the D1 level, as we got our first substitution here in the second half at the 14-minute mark, 71-49, our score. But, he's got the ability to be a D1 guard, but he's getting the opportunity to play both sports he loves, still get a full ride, as 2/3 of his scholarships coming from one sport, another third from the other.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to play 2 sports and still be a strong athlete, or still be a strong student, hopefully at the next level.
And he'll be playing in a tough conference for both baseball and basketball. And I only know that conference because I used to coach at Winona State. So he'll get to see some other premier players that he'll play against.
And we'll get to talk more about Jake Hilmer, as well as the eastern side of the state of Iowa with the northeast-southeast matchup in the boys' side following the northeast-southeast side of the girls' matchup today, as driving in and having her ball knocked away from her was Carson Fisk. Now inside, first two-point shot of the game, Naomi Jackson out of Grinnell High School. Now into double figures today. She hit 3 threes in the first half and gets her first two-point shot to fall there. Bruce Baker with the ball up top, driving in, shot up, can't get it to fall, it's knocked away, and then Wroblewski comes down with the rebound. She'll give it off to Fisk, who'll bring it back the other way. Fisk driving in, slices through a couple of defenders. The old adage is one doesn't split two, but she did that exact thing right there. Bruce Baker with the ball up top, thrown into the corner to Wallace. Wallace, couple dribbles to the left, puts the shot up off the side of the rim, no good. Offensive rebound by Baker Bruce. And, you know, if we had a shot clock in high school basketball, it would be a fresh shot clock as Meyer turns and gets the fadeaway shot to fall.
I'm kind of surprised they don't. That's a good point, why they don't do that at this all-star game with most of these kids going to play college ball. Be kind of interesting to see. I mean, right now, they're scoring in less than 30 seconds.
Every single time. I don't know if we've seen a possession last longer than 20 seconds in this ball game.
I don't think we've seen 6 passes.
Meyer with 0 passes, but she'll step back, hit the 3. Megan Meyer, an outstanding player out of Mason City this season, and can't talk enough about what she meant to Mason City and what she could mean to the Hawkeyes over the next 4 to 5 seasons.
I think it'd be just so neat to be able to play with her sister. Her sister's only a junior, so. And Lisa Bluter's got to be tickled about it.
Bluter, a finalist for the Naismith Coach of the Year for the Iowa Hawkeyes this year, and coaching who, with all regards to every other player in the country, should be the Women's Basketball Player of the Year in Megan Gustafson.
I would agree. She is for ESPN women, but, I would totally agree. And once she graduates, they're going to go 1 year without a big post player. And the Goodman girl from Crestwood has verbally committed to Iowa, who is very skilled, runs the floor well. Can't say enough good things about her. So,
and who are all the seniors? You've got Tanaya Davis, Meg Gusson. Is Hannah Stewart also a senior for the Hawkeyes?
Yep, she is.
Yeah.
But I think that's it, just those 3.
Then you got Kathleen Doyle, Mackenzie Meyer coming back next year. So they're still going to be very deep at the guard position. But they may not have the same talent that made them a number 2 seed and the Big Ten champion in the tournament this year.
Gustafson, she's a competitor. She just does it all. And Ann has worked at it. Rightfully so, has deserved everything that she's gotten.
Out of Port Wing, Wisconsin, came from a school of, I believe, about 50 to 80 kids. And her graduating class was around 11. And is now turned into the likely player of the year and a future WNBA player.
For sure.
Yeah. At 6'3", possibly going to be maybe a late first round, early second round pick, but brings a lot to like in terms of her competition and competitive drive. And if I'm looking for a role model for any of these young girls, it'd be a player like Megan Gustafson.
Most definitely. She's just so humble, and you could tell that on the floor. And definitely a team player.
And hopefully some of these young girls can learn from her, as we've got a score 85 to 56 nearing the 10-minute mark, as we'll have another substitution as that shot falls out of the hands of Callan Fox. It's now up to the largest lead of the game, 31. Southeast squad running away with it here at DCG High School. That shot is good, and that'll bring the substitution. And the benches will empty on both sides. So Northeast trailing by 29 will keep 1 player on the floor. And it appears it'll be number 52, Grace Renaud. Ball inbounded into number 14, Jessica Musgrave. who, if you're going to have her as a backup point guard, not too shabby of a player. 14.6 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, more than double the assists of anyone else on her high school team this year over at South Tama.
I gotta take care of business.
Aubrey Fisher gets it across half court. Three-pointer out of the hands of Caesar. No good. Rebounded and bringing back the other way by Caitlin Morgan. Morgan stops at the top of the key. One head fake, gives it to Musgrave. Musgrave attacks for the defense. She's been doing that all game long.
Say from the get-go, she has attacked the basket.
We've seen the same thing from players like Macy Harris and Megan Meyer as well. As Musgrave comes up with a steal. Now going 1-on-2 on the other side. That little finish and that little scoop. Nice hesitation, got a little bit of space, and then she was able to lay it in. Back-to-back layups.
Do we know where she's going?
Upper Iowa next year. So Upper Iowa getting Jake Hilmer on the boys' side and Jessica Musgrave on the girls' side. As Morgan brings it across half court for the Southeast Iowa team. Steps back, fires the three off the front of the rim. No good. Good box out and rebound by number 32, Sam Wall. Wall drives in, has her pass knocked away, and it ends up in the hands of number 30, Amanda Smith, for the Southeast team. Smith will bring it across half court, dribbles in, kicks it out. Morgan looking to do something with it. It'll go baseline. Reverse layup up, can't get it to fall, and it's rebounded by number 52, Grace Renaud. Caesar can't get the shot to fall on the other side. 91-58 our score. 8:15 now left on the clock in this contest.
You can tell the conditioning part's settling in right now with their legs and running the floor.
Musgrave with another big shot. She gets that one to fall. 7 points here over the last couple of minutes.
If the tier people have the copyright on
Caesar out on the wing, attacking into the middle of the defense. Lefty layup, can't get it to fall, and it's rebounded by Julison out of Seymour High School. Attacking on the right side, Stokes kicks it back out. Nice dribble attack, and the floater no good off the back of the rim for number 42, Lang. Shot no good from Sam Wall, and it'll go back to the Southeast team as Morgan brings it across half court on the right sideline. Morgan into the corner, long 2-point jumper is good.
She's got great form.
Southeast Iowa team quickly approaching that 100-point mark. The two games we had earlier today for each of these teams were about the 50-60 point mark. So to have this kind of offensive explosion, a very nice showing today as Wall gets the lefty floater to fall over the outstretched hand of the defensive player. On the right side, looking to the post up. Good positioning by Smith, but she can't get the shot to fall on her follow through, following her own miss.
She had to work for that one.
Smith led her team with 59 steals and averaged over 8 rebounds this season. Also a great volleyball player. Tipton played the state title game in volleyball this year and finished the season 39-4 on the volleyball court. So another great dual sport athlete out of Tipton, Iowa.
You know, I teach at a large school, and lots of times you just see players that specialize in one sport, which is kind of sad because there's some, I can think of one in particular, female that we have that played soccer and basketball. Now she's only going to play basketball. And I think you have so much that you can offer and contribute just from the standpoint of competing, the competition.
On the left side, Musgrave looking to attack again, picks up her dribble in the middle of the post. Dribbling it back out is Morgan. Now to Musgrave back up top. Off a screen down low. Julison gets the shot to fall.
Nice cut, nice pass. I think they made 4 passes down an offensive end that time.
And it gets them across the century mark. 100-62 down low. A shot from Sam Wall, no good, but she's going to be heading to the free throw line.
We haven't seen many fouls either, have we?
Nope, it's been a very clean game. That's only the 4th foul here in the second half, and I think maybe saw a handful of free throws in the first half as well. And I think every foul that we've seen has been
a shooting foul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it may just be a case of, letting the players play, a case of, you don't want to necessarily hurt someone, play too strong a defense in an all-star game. But at the same time, you still want to win this contest.
Right. To be honest with you, I really haven't seen anything that should have been called that wasn't called.
And I guess that's kind of what you have happen when you've got the top defenders and offensive players in the state. Down low, Julison with another putback and gets it to fall as the clock hits the 6-minute mark, and the lead now up to 38. 6 minutes left in the game as the starting lineup for the Southeast team comes back into the game. CISN will remain on the floor, as will number 32, Sam Wall. And actually, I don't know if they actually substituted anyone in on that. On the northeast side, CISN puts a 3 up, and she cannot get anything to fall from downtown here this afternoon.
Yeah, I think they subbed a couple in.
Meyer did enter into the game. That three-pointer.
That was a big-time three.
Buried by number 42, Emily Lang. Dribble handoff given to Wall from Meyer. She'll look into attack, gets into the post. Floater from about 12 feet, can't get a fall, follows her miss, and her shot is blocked by Wroblewski down low, but she's able to recover, gather herself, go up and finish strong. Pass back the other way from Harris, goes sailing out of bounds.
This is very high scoring.
And a much bigger point differential than we expected.
Yeah, exactly.
As it's a 39-point contest in favor of the Southeast Iowa team. Three-pointer from CISN. Still can't get it to hit the bottom of the net. Rebounded by Lang. Lang attacking hard on the right side. Nice drop down low as Wroblewski cut towards the net. Wroblewski has made an absolute killing in the post here tonight, as she's got to be near a double-double, I would think, in points and rebounds. Meyer out on the left wing. Going against Campbell.
Nice move.
Yep, scoop layup, no good, as she was a little bit too far under the rim. And Wroblewski, as a center, taking it across half court, gives it off to Campbell. Campbell fires another three. Excuse me, that's Jackson. Shot no good, but Wroblewski right there for an offensive putback and another basket to add to her total.
Meyer has that quick step that I was talking about that you look for when she takes somebody. She just explodes off that first step.
Speaking of a nice first step, Sam Wall able to get past her defender, pull up, and get the shot to fall from about 10 feet. Harris back the other way, slides past her defender as Van Wielden couldn't stay with her with a shot no good. Now Meyer back the other side. Defender right on her. That shot left short off the front of the rim. Ball thrown ahead to Fisk. Fisk had a jump stop but couldn't get the layup to fall. Wasn't necessarily highly contested. Just couldn't get it to hit the bottom of the net.
I think she got intimidated by those two people that were coming up behind her.
Heard footsteps, if you will. Wroblewski with another board, and Harris brings it across half court. 3.5 minutes left. We'll have one substitution at the 2-minute mark. Harris kicks it to Fisk. Fisk thought about a three, drives in, floater up, no good. Second straight missed shot for number 24, Carson Fisk. Wall brings it across half court. Gives it off to Meyer. Now Meyer looking to work against Jackson. Spin back to the left side. She's hit that a couple times here tonight from that same exact spot on the right wing, or excuse me, right elbow. Down low, Wroblewski just too tall in the post. Gets another one. The assist to Harris up top.
I would say she is our tallest player on the floor. What would you say? She's probably about 5'11", maybe?
I think she may crack that 6-foot mark, but it's close. That shot off the side of the rim for Meyer, no good. Van Wielden offensive rebound, tracking in the right corner. Drives in, lefty floater, no good. Gets another on board following her miss. Down low, reverse layup.
Oh, that was a nice move.
Still can't get it to fall. Yet got that
English.
Nice wraparound, got past Lang. Now Lang with the offensive side, gets it down low to Wroblewski, and again, another easy layup for the center down low out of Bettendorf.
It's kind of just become a one shot, rebound, outlet, and go.
And we talked a little bit about the conditioning. A lot of these girls may be tired with how much time they've played, and it being a month that, if they're not a spring or summer athlete, they haven't been working out nearly as much as they were.
It's a different, stop and start and you run on the floor. It's just a different type of conditioning.
As we hit our final substitution, the score is 113-70 here at Dallas Center Grimes High School. The boys team's warming up over to our right in the corner, as the northeast team down there and the southeast team, got to expect, not too far away. Shot good on the offensive end for Jessica Musgrave.
I was really thinking that the northeast would be a little more competitive. I don't know if that's just because I'm from northeast Iowa.
I think we're going to see a very balanced game in the next contest, especially with the southeast team not having DJ Carton or Patrick McCaffrey. But you're going to see a lot of talent still. I'm excited to see Keegan and Chris Murray out of Cedar Rapids Prairie. Keegan, first-team All-State. Chris, second-team All-State at the 4A level. And the biggest thing, 6'8" and 6'7", as that shot's missed from the corner.
Insane.
And they're not even the tallest players on the team.
They must have drank a lot of milk or something. I tell you what, kids are definitely a lot taller than what they were 20 years ago.
Another big basket for the Southeast Iowa team as Stokes buries the three-pointer. Makes it a 50-point lead, 120-70. In the corner, a couple dribbles back up top. It was Renaud picking up her dribble. From the corner, three-pointer is good for Aubrey Fisher.
Nice shot.
30 seconds left in the ball game as Morgan brings it across half court. May just hold this and let this clock tick down, but what fun is that in an all-star game?
Not much if I haven't scored. I think most of them have scored, though.
With 193 combined points, I'd expect so.
Yeah.
And we're going to see number 40, Kaylin Morgan, dribble this ball out to end the game. Gives it off, and a deep three-point attempt from Musgrave is no good. Final score, 120-73 in favor of the Southeast Iowa girls team. They are your Iowa Basketball Coaches Association 2019 All-Star Tournament champions. And a lot of talent across the board. As the all-tournament selections will be announced, we're going to take a quick minute break and we'll be back here on Central Iowa Sports Network.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Chevrolet Waukee. With Conquest incentives, get up to $9,000 off 19 Equinox, or $3,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Up to $14,000 off new 19 Suburban and Tahoes. Up to $8,000 off new 18 Malibus. Or choose up to $3,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. 25% off new 19 Cruze. $6,500 off new 19 Trax. Receive up to $18,000 off, or 0% for 72 months. Plus $8,500 off the last remaining 18 Corvette Z06. Won't last. March Markdown Madness. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules. They're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Why do I look for the seal? It's about trust. Whether I'm buying a car, hiring a contractor, finding a tax preparer, or an honest mechanic, the Better Business Bureau seal means this business meets high standards. When I see the seal, I know I'll get what I pay for. No more taking chances and no more worries. And I feel good about supporting local businesses. My life is so much easier knowing I can always trust BBB accredited businesses. It pays to look for the seal. See for yourself at bbb.org/Iowa.
It's you and me and the world.
Welcome back to the Central Iowa Sports Network. A big 50-plus point victory down the stretch. Ended up as a 47-point game, 120-73 to close out the last contest. The Southeast team taking the championship on the girls' side, as we had our all-tournament team announced as well. Jackie, we had some great names along that group of girls that were just announced on the floor. And
some well-deserving young ladies. I was glad to see that Macy Harris from Grinnell was the MVP.
MOP, most outstanding.
MOP, okay. Yeah. MOP, not MVP.
Yeah.
And I think she was well-deserving of it. She was a good player. She took the ball to the basket. And somebody that probably doesn't get a lot of ink or PR because of her location. And that's with a lot of these young ladies is, depending on where you live, you don't get the exposure as, some other people do that come from major metropolitan areas.
And, she closes out a great senior year at Grinnell. She was first team on the 4A All-State team, led Grinnell to the state tournament. They won their first ever conference title and played right here at DCG in the regular season, winning the Little Hawkeye Conference. Also received the Iowa Bankers Scholarship this year. I think she's still undecided where she's going to school, but she's going to make some college coach very happy.
Yeah, she definitely could play Division II. And I was going to say that earlier in the broadcast that Upper Iowa is the only Division II school we have in the state of Iowa. So anybody that comes out from Minnesota, Missouri specifically, they have a lot of D2 schools. She would be a steal for someone. She has the skills, the talents. I'm not sure she might be a lower D1 player, but she definitely could play Division II.
And you got to think maybe schools like Truman State, Northwest Missouri State, even Minnesota State, giving a look at her. And her teammate, Naomi Jackson, heading to Wash U, playing D3 down in St. Louis.
Oh, That's a great school.
Yep, the Wash U Bears, a great historical program there, going to many Final Fours. And they were back in the NCAA tournament this year, had a great season.
And she may have, some people on the line, and maybe she's just waiting to see, because lots of times that happens.
And now we get to see what the boys from the eastern side of the state have to offer. And, we talked that DJ Carton, Patrick McCaffrey not here for the Southeast Iowa team. Still a lot of big names. Keaton Mitchell, we had the head coach from Wapello High School up here earlier. He talked a lot about how athletic and a great defender Keaton Mitchell is. And he's going to be big as he comes in averaging a double-double, 20 points, 11 rebounds. And a guy I'm excited to watch, Cole Henry, finally got that state title with Oskaloosa.
Well, and I was just going to say that because that's a name normally I don't do. I've only done one boys game this year. But Cole Henry's a name I've been hearing all season long, the athlete that he is. So I'm really kind of anxious to see him play also.
Oskaloosa, a great season this year. They lost the state championship last year to Glenwood and came in, beat conference rival Norwalk in the state championship, 48-44. Cole Henry named to the all-tournament team in his performance during the state tournament, and Norwalk just had no answer for him.
But they had a great year.
Yep, and they're going to bring a lot of talent back. The 3A Player of the Year, Bowen Bourne, along with Tyler Johnson, their shooting guard, will both be back next season.
Bourne, is that what you said?
Bowen Bourne.
And his father played at Iowa State, correct?
Yep. His grandfather was also a coach.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, one of the winningest girls basketball coaches in the state of Iowa. He actually just passed away earlier this season. And in memory of him, Bourne, the day, I think either the day after his funeral or somewhere in that same time, dropped 47 points to break the Norwalk scoring record.
Awesome.
Against Pella that night. So yeah, Grinnell, the Little Hawkeye Conference on both the girls and boys side had a lot of talent
it's
this
pretty
year.
Competitive usually.
Yeah, in the past you've had Grinnell and DCG among the top teams in the state every year at the 3A level. Pella Christian at 2A, and then Pella missing out on the state tournament, losing in the sub-state final, but Oskaloosa and Norwalk making all the way to the state championship.
Which is two names you don't normally hear.
Yeah. As they're naming out the players for some of the top teams in the state. They just named two players that I'm still very interested to watch. The Carter twins, Keegan and Chris. Keegan staying at 6'8", Chris at 6'7", and then Noah Carter out of Dubuque Senior. Lost in the state championship to Cedar Falls, which that was kind of the amazing thing to me. We didn't have any Cedar Falls players on the Northeast team after back-to-back state championships last 2 years.
And maybe they were asked and just weren't able to, to commit to it. So
it is a long drive along Highway 20 and I-35 to get down here. So the boys team for the Southeast team, only 8 players without Carton or McCaffrey. 2 huge players. Carton, co-Mr. Basketball this season, and Patrick McCaffrey. I think most basketball fans in the state of Iowa know that name, either his full name or at least his last name of McCaffrey.
That name has been mentioned a lot in the last 4 years.
Just to reiterate, Patrick McCaffrey, a lot of people consider he may be the biggest recruit Iowa has ever landed, not just in Fran's tenure.
It'll be anxious to see because I think that when you mentioned the from Iowa Falls and Sioux City East, both of those players were extremely good players. So it'll be anxious to see how it pans out.
And, it is just a huge weekend in the state of Iowa for basketball. You got this going on, obviously the NCAA tournament, first 2 rounds at Wells Fargo Arena, 2 10 seeds getting huge upsets in the first round in Florida and Minnesota. The Iowa women's team hosting first 2 rounds in Iowa City, Iowa State, and
Plays
Ames.
Tonight,
Yep. Drake playing in the first round over in Iowa City. I didn't see how they did in last night's contest.
Drake got beaten in overtime by Missouri.
Wow, that was unfortunate. As we get a dunk to open up, the biggest difference you might see between girls and boys basketball, as Keyshawn Pegas picks up the first basket of the game on a huge slam. No one closing out on him.
I'm going to keep track of the dunks.
First shot on the other side, no good. But Derek Krogman out of West Delaware, going to be a walk-on at UNI next year, playing alongside Noah Carter, both today and potentially in the future, as he got the putback on the layup. Three-pointer from the left wing, no good. And then thrown back the other way. Northeast point guard picking up in transition. Can't get the shot to fall. It's tipped out. That shot was missed by A.J. Becker out of Maquoketa. Down low, it is again another basket for number 32, Pigs.
You know, the difference in the two games is the guys play at the rim or above the rim, and girls play to the rim. I mean, it's just penetration to the bucket, and that's what makes the guys' game so exciting, is the fact that they can get up at the rim.
And even without two big players, we're still going to see a lot of exciting basketball in this game as Bo Cornwell pulls up, can't get the shot to fall, and is rebounded coming back the other way for Northeast Iowa, handled by Noah Carter, one of the top players in 4A this year. Shot can't be hit from the right side by Becker once again. 3A first-team All-State selection for Maquoketa. Henry down low, missed his first attempt, but able to jump back up and get the easy lay-in, giving the Southeast squad a 6-2 advantage.
Did he play inside? Is he a four-player, do you know?
He was their four, mostly just because of the fact they had another 7-footer in their starting lineup and a 6'5" small forward.
Because he handles the ball really well in the open court.
Yeah. He's a do-everything player. The thing I'm excited to see with Henry moving forward at UNI next year, the opportunity to learn from Seth Tuttle, the former All-American for the Panthers. He is a graduate assistant.
Oh,
currently.
Really?
Yep. Played a couple years over in Europe. Got a chance to interview him actually a couple weeks ago and talk about his transition back to coaching, working with Coach Jacobson. But there's a long line of great post players. You know, Cody Jesperson, Seth Tuttle. You've got, I cannot remember their names. As Cole Henry, nice spin move down low. You had the Koch brothers.
Yes.
That all came through, all 1,000-point scorers. And now you've got a potential another future one in Cole Henry. And another great post player that's going to UNI next year, Noah Carter. Gets that layup to fall. 21 points, 9 rebounds per game this year for the Dubuque Senior Rams. Three-pointer from the corner, no good for Ben Wolgamuth out of Mediapolis. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay right here for the Northeast team. We're knotted up at 8, under 15 to play here in the first half.
Sounds like UNI has got some good talent, good recruits coming in for talent.
Absolutely. The state of Iowa is in good hands in terms of in-state prospects, as one of them, Noah Carter, hits that three. And there's some big names in the starting lineup for the Northeast team, led by Hilmer, A.J. Becker, Noah Carter, a lot of players across the board. Hilmer, a nice wraparound pass as Carter with a big slam in transition. Outside, attacking off the dribble. It was Pugs again. And down low, it is Wolgamuth getting it to fall. Member of the Mediapolis baseball team, also runs track. So a great three-sport athlete. An alley-oop run there. It looked like Pugs was going to go up and try and slam it home, but it was just a little bit off, and he had to settle for the lay-in. 12-13, our score at the first substitution mark. As on one side, we will see the entire starting lineup head off the floor, and the Murray twins enter into the game for the Northeast Iowa squad. On the Southeast team, you'll see Cole Henry, number 52, Dylan Peters, and number 42, Ben Wolgamuth, check out. Off the dribble, Jackson Molstead, Wartburg recruit, looking to attack. Now thrown back outside. Carter Cuvalier gives it off to one of the Murray twins as Keegan Murray goes to work down low, and the first team All-Stater gets it to go. And there's a lot of speculation that the Prairie twins, Keegan and Chris Murray, are probably going to end up at the same school together. And whichever school lands the two of them, if they do so choose that, they're going to get a great set of players. The two combined average almost 40 points a game this year And Chris showcasing his shooting ability, trying to knock that one in just a little too strong. They led CR Prairie to their first conference title since 2001 this season. Three-pointer buried by Gavin Keys out of Burlington, Notre Dame.
And the Murray twins, they're only gonna get bigger. I mean, they're right now pretty frail, lanky.
As Chris Murray able to slide in after the pass was tipped, no one ended up with the ball, so he just grabbed it and ran straight to the rim. Cornwell down low as it was Keaton Mitchell trying to post up. Can't get the shot to fall, and it's knocked away.
Actually, I think there's a little more passing, isn't there, in this boys game than what there was in the girls, or maybe it's just the style.
I don't disagree with you on that one, actually.
Which kind of surprised me because I thought it'd be more one-on-one, but that was from downtown.
Throwing over to the right side, now attacking off the dribble. It's Cortavius Seals out on the left wing. Nice crossover working against Paul Runquist Jr. Talk about Runquist here in a couple minutes. As another deep two-pointer from Peegs, no good. Rebounded by Keegan Murray. And now here's Molstead attacking. And the Charles City senior able to get it to lay in.
Didn't you say he was going somewhere?
He's going to Jackson Molstead, headed to Wartburg next year. Led 3A in scoring this year, 28.8 points per game.
That was a great defensive play right there by him.
Throws it ahead. Keegan Murray can't get it to fall. And Chris Murray on the offensive rebound goes up. Misses the first time, but on the second opportunity, he's fouled. 4-point contest.
Molstead is quick.
First shot is good for Keegan Murray. Excuse me, Chris Murray. Murray is second-team All-State selection out of Cedar Rapids Prairie. Second shot also good. So 11:43 left in the first half. 15-21 our score. Screen set up top as Seals looking to attack, double-teamed. Drives baseline. He stepped on the out-of-bounds line, so it'll be a turnover back to the Northeast squad.
That's the first screen we've seen.
So now kind of a short break. Talk about Paul Runquist Jr. 4-year starter at Wapsie Valley, as that shot no good for Molstead. But averaged over 20 points per game every year as a starter for Wapsie Valley over the last 4 years. And the son of former Mount Pleasant head coach Paul Runquist Sr., who's now at Iowa City West.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of basketball lineage there.
Yeah. Do you remember who the last big scorer was for Wapsie Valley?
I do not.
He played for UNI, McCowan.
Oh.
Do you remember that name?
I recognize the name, I do.
He was like all-time leading scorer for Wapsie Valley, and I think he might have had some other records and went on to play at UNI.
And I don't exactly know where Runquist's going to end up, but, you know, he, with the fact of how great a coach his dad is, he's probably had a lot of good coaching coming up through the years. Not the tallest kid out there. Looks like he stands maybe about 5'9" or so as the ball's inbounded in to Murray. Murray, nice Dirk Nowitzki type fadeaway, and gets the shot to fall off the shooter's roll. But Runquist going to make some coach very happy, as a lot of coaches' kids are usually pretty good players as they get a little bit older. But
you can always tell a coach's kid just by what they do on the floor and directing. You can tell they have that basketball knowledge, that IQ. Because that's the first thing I noticed about Helmer when he was out on the floor.
Travel called against Chris Murray as he was trying to get a spin move but dragged that pivot foot in the process. 23-17 in favor of the Northeast Iowa squad. 15 or so seconds away from our second substitution in the first half. Peegs looking to attack. Got an up and under move, couldn't get the shot to fall. Followed his miss, and the tip in no good. Just on the rim for a second, just didn't fall. And that's our first foul that we've seen in this game that was, any of the games that we've seen today that was not a shooting foul. And that'll bring the substitution in Starting lineup returns to the floor, led by Jake Hilmer and Noah Carter for the Northeast team. And it's Carter with it now in the high post, handing it off to Hilmer. Hilmer, co-Mr. Basketball in the state of Iowa this year. DJ Carton, the other player, behind the back pass. And it was thrown to
over the head.
Derek Krogman in the post. Back out to Hilmer. Hilmer fading to his left, fires a three, can't get it to fall. But Carter gets a big dunk, standing at about 6'5", some great lift.
That would be our third dunk of the game.
And the second
That's
one
all by the black team.
And
or no, the gray team.
We did have one to open.
Yeah.
Earlier in the game from.
It was all down at this end.
It was on the other side. Keyshawn Teague's got another first dunk of the game. So we've got two on one side, one on the other. Carter comes over the steal. Hilmer leading the fast break. Lost possession of it for a second. Trying to throw it down low. Has it knocked away. Goes off of the leg. Out of bounds. Last touch by Derek Krogman. Another player forgot to mention out of Appleton Parkersburg, Carter Cuvalier. The thing I think makes the Northeast Iowa team so dangerous outside of the fact that Southeast Iowa is not at full strength today, Northeast Iowa between Hilmer, Molstead, Krogman, and Cuvalier has another big basket as they're starting to build up a lead. 4 McDonald's All-American nominees out of the state of Iowa.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Those 4 that you just named?
Yep.
Wow.
And arguably, none of the 4 are the best player on the team, as Noah Carter, quite possibly the best of the 10 on the Northeast Iowa roster. So a very deep, very dangerous team. As Hilmer ball fakes, drives baseline, slides through, no-look pass into the corner, trying to find Becker. Becker lost for a second, kicks it back out to Hilmer. Now Carter, deep three-pointer, downtown. Carter showcasing a lot of ability. He hits that over fellow UNI Panther recruit Cole Henry. And Henry can do nothing but just laugh on the way back down the court. Now Henry attacking off the dribble. Goes up, can't get the shot to fall. Hilmer goes behind the back to save it. And now he gets the handoff and he'll run down the other way. Hilmer to Carter, out to Becker. Becker, pump fakes, gets 2 defenders in the air, steps into the 3 and buries it. Northeast Iowa doubling up on the Southeast squad. Down low, the ball stolen away from Seals. And a dunk opportunity here. Back the other way. Credit that one to Trey Hutchison out of Linn-Mar. He's heading to UAlbany in the fall.
New York. Wow. Where it's cold.
You say that like Iowa's warm.
Well, lots of snow then. Of course, we had lots of snow this year, too.
Yeah.
We've had a couple baseball players go to Albany, but I don't know any basketball players.
Carter with the one-handed finish in midair. Carter showcasing why he led Dubuque Senior to the state championship game, fell just a little bit short against the Cedar Falls team that has now won back-to-back state titles. And Cedar Falls, credit to them with how great of a season they had, even after losing A.J. Green to graduation, as Steele buries the fadeaway 3 from the corner.
They were never ranked #1, were they?
I don't think so.
I know Waukee was for a while.
And I think Cedar Falls actually upset Waukee to get to the championship game.
You're right, they did.
Three-pointer from A.J. Becker, no good. And 3A All-State first teamer out of Makokata. He's had a solid game, but couldn't get that one to fall. Big dunk back the other way for number 50, Keaton Mitchell out of Wapello.
I should have kept track of three-pointers versus dunks, because there really haven't been that many three-pointers.
Hilmer looked somewhere to go with it, stepped into the shot, and got it to fall.
He is fun to watch.
And it's almost a little unfortunate that he's not going D1 because of his ability. I really think he could be playing at the next level as Hilmer comes up with a steal as we're talking about it. Goes behind the head and gives it off for a dunk at the 6-minute mark. Another dunk for the Northeast Iowa team as they are running away with this one, up 20 at the 6-minute mark in the first half.
You said he's going to Upper Iowa, correct?
Yep, play baseball and basketball. And it's amazing, if you look at his baseball stats, he may even be better on the baseball field than he is the basketball court.
Really?
Yeah, I believe he hit around over 400 last year, went 9-1 on the mound, and had over 40 stolen bases. And you can just see the pure athleticism in his game.
I'd say it's pretty tough when you get Division II, Division I, when you're a two-sport athlete, it's a lot of time, a lot of demands.
And Iowa's produced a couple of really good dual sport athletes at the next level the last couple of years. As you know, we talked about Patrick McCaffrey. Connor McCaffrey 2 years ago declared to go to Iowa. He's a redshirt freshman on the basketball team, but also plays on the baseball team as well.
And a good hitter from what I understand.
Absolutely. Pegas gets that one to fall after coming down with the offensive board. From way downtown, it's an air ball, but Keegan Murray right there for the rebound putback. And, yeah, he was on that out of bounds line, I think, as soon as he came down. So ball goes back to Southeast Iowa, trying to claw their way back in, down 16 near the 5-minute mark in the first half. Pigs out to Henry. Henry thought about a three, steps back, and now he'll fire it from downtown. Off the side of the rim, no good. Expect we'll probably see his teammate Xavier Foster in this game next season. Three-pointer from the corner. It's good for Cuvalier. But a cool story about Cole Henry. After they came up short in the state championship last year, he promised his team and his community that they would come out and win the state championship this season. And they had a very strong start to the year. I believe started like 12-1. Had a rough patch where they went around 5-5, and then had a great run to end the season and did everything he could in the state tournament to make sure his team came out on top and fulfilled his promise, winning that state championship as a senior this season.
That's a young man that, you know, made a commitment.
And, you know, even as a Norwalk alum, it wasn't, and, you know, they're conference rivals with Oskaloosa. Seeing Norwalk lose that game, I was okay with it, seeing how Henry reacted. He was on the floor emotional because he was so happy to win that state championship for his community.
Well, how many times has Oskaloosa ever won a state title? I don't think they've been there that many times.
No, I think this was their first ever state championship. And Oskaloosa, when I was in high school, was actually the
doormat.
Pretty much the punching bag of the Little Hawkeye Conference. They'd win a couple games every year, but they'd get blown out a lot. So it's great to see how far they've come now as one of the state powers and looking to stay there next year again with bringing back a top 30 recruit in Xavier Foster, as that three's buried from way downtown by Bo Cornwell.
That's because we're always used to hearing about Pella, because Pella's usually aren't they the strong team? Well, Grinnell's had some good boys teams too, haven't they?
It's the Little Hawkeye Conference, in my opinion, outside of the CIML and maybe the Metro League in Cedar Rapids, is quite possibly the most competitive conference in boys basketball every season. Because, like when I was in high school, back in the early 2010s, DCG wasn't in the conference yet, but joined after my junior year, and they went to the state tournament that year. Grinnell went at the 3A level. Pella Christian went at the 2A. Norwalk, my junior, we finished one game short. Another deep three from Cornwell. This one no good. However, Pella had a great season that year as well. They were great the next year again. Grinnell made it back to the state tournament the next season. DCG finished one game short. So, yeah, there's a lot of great talent as that three's buried.
Pella Christian and Pella are both in that league.
Yep. And, yeah, Pella Christian playing 3A regular season, 2A playoffs. And then Pella Dutch, obviously, at the 3A, 4A level for boys and girls, respectively.
Well, Indianola just joined it not too long ago, didn't they?
Correct. And, you know, they had a really good regular season this year as well. The Little Hawkeye Conference, it was very top-heavy, but that top-heavy league, you had 3 teams in the top 10 at the 3A level this season. Cardinal looking to go somewhere with it, kicks it up top to Henry, who buries the 3. Cole Henry having a solid game so far as his team still down by 20 with 2:05 left here in the first half. Molstead trying to get a shot up. He's fouled on the drive, and I would expect that's going to be the substitution at the 2-minute mark, and it is. As we're going to see on one side, Trey Hutchison and A.J. Becker stay on the bench with one of the Murray Tins and Chris checking out. Keegan staying in the game along with number 12, Jackson Molstead. The amount of scoring that is on the floor right now for the Northeast Iowa team is ridiculous as Krogman lays it in. You got Krogman at 21 points per game, Noah Carter at 21, Chris Murray at about 18, Jake Hilmer at 26 a game, and then Jackson Molstead at 29. So you got 5 players that averaged at least 18 points a contest out there for the Northeast team. As that ball goes out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Northeast squad as they're looking to build on what is already a 22-point lead, 56-34, 1:38 left in the first half.
I really appreciate the fact that they're working the ball. There's not been very many times they've come down and just taken one shot.
And that's one of the things that's nice when you've got so many experienced top players in a lot of these games in general. But when you got a point guard like Jake Hilmer out there, arguably the top point guard in the entire state, he's helping lead that offense. And you got to think he said a couple nice things to his team to help them get amped up for this contest.
He's just so smart. Just got a high IQ basketball. And fun to play with, I bet. He probably makes those other players look. There was one no-look pass he made down here, and his teammate wasn't ready for it.
Pegas goes back to the free throw line after he was fouled on the shot attempt. First shot is no good. 56-34, still our score with 1:08 left in the first half. Second shot is good. And Hilmer, a great outlet pass down the other side. Molstead from downtown. As Molstead showcasing what some of the Wartburg fans will get to see. So it's finally able to look up the stats from this past year for baseball for Jake Hilmer. First off, an amazing season for North Lynn last year. 41-4 on the baseball diamond to go along with a 26-0 run as he lays it in. But they lost in the state tournament to Lisbon 2-4 at Principal Park. But Hilmer last year as a junior hit .511 with 46 stolen bases and 47 attempts.
Wow. That's pretty valuable right there.
Yeah, went 9-3 on the mound, 1.14 ERA, and 91 strikeouts in 67 innings.
So he's primarily a pitcher then?
Well, I think he does a little bit of everything. And I can see now why these teams want him to be playing both. As right before the buzzer, we've got a dunk there aside. It's a 24-point game at halftime. Northeast Iowa leading Southeast Iowa 63-39. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break, and we'll be back here on Central Iowa Sports Network.
Markdown madness at Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. With Conquest incentives, get up to $9,000 off 19 Equinox, or $3,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. Up to $14,000 off new 19 Suburban and Tahoes. Up to $8,000 off new 18 Malibus. Or choose up to $3,000 off plus 0% for 72 months. 25% off new 19 Cruise. $6,500 off new 19 Trax. Receive up to $18,000 off, or 0% for 72 months. Plus $8,500 off the last remaining 18 Corvette Z06. Won't last. March Markdown madness. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right, you decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
We're back, CISN, at the All-Star basketball game by the Iowa Boys Coaches Association, and we have Fred Zeller, who was one of the coaches for the Northeast squad. First of all, do you only see these players today, or how does this all work?
Well, ideally, you get your team picked, and then you schedule a practice or two. Unfortunately, we ran into so many spring breaks and conflicts, so we never got together with our kids until this morning. So we were at a little bit of a disadvantage, but you know, it's such a great event that you don't worry too much about having all your ducks in a row, and it was really fun. And
it's all about the kids anyway.
Well, yeah. Coaches get too much credit and too much blame for everything anyway, you know. So this is a chance to just sit back, and about all we did was try to get the equal playing time, and they've got rotations set up so that you're kind of required to do that. But that's what it's all about.
And what about defenses? Do they have to play man-to-man, or can you play zone? Or
we play. You have to play man-to-man, and you can switch and help and stuff, but pretty much just straight up man-to-man, and that's kind of reflected in the final score of our game.
Yeah. Well, did your squad didn't have 10 players, did it?
No, we picked 10 people, and one of them was in Barbados or somewhere, and her flight got canceled and couldn't make it back.
Because I just wondered if the fact that you were shorthanded, if they would let you play zone because they're not in basketball shape.
No, we didn't worry too much about it.
How long has this event been going on?
I can't really tell you. This is the first time I've been involved in coaching it, but I think it's been going on since the late 80s, I'm thinking.
Because it's quite different than the Girls Basketball Coaches Association, which I've had players play in that, and they play more classes, don't they? They don't mix, the 1A with the 5A.
Yeah, they have a lot more kids involved. I think there's over 100 kids involved for the Girls Coaches Association, and it gives more kids a chance to play. But this, I think, is a little more showcasing the very best players in the state.
Yeah. And you had a great year this year at West Marshall.
Wasn't our best team ever, but we got to the state tournament, and anytime you do that, you think it's a very successful and fun year.
And that's where good coaching comes in, though.
Well, I was the coach last year and the year before, and we got beat in the regional final. So
that was bad coaching then. I have to say, Fred was coaching way back in the 70s when I was a high school basketball player. So anytime I see Fred, it always brings a smile on my face because he's always this upbeat guy, had really good teams, good players, was a fundamental coach. So I'm really glad to see that you're still in the game because kind of the old guard is left and there aren't too many of you guys left.
Yeah, every year I wonder, if I'm going to do it again. And I've been retired from teaching for 15 years, but I think about what am I going to do in the winter instead of girls basketball, and it's still fun. So as long as they'll have me, I'll probably keep doing it.
Do you think it's a disadvantage you not being in school and seeing them every day, or are you in the building and you see the kids, or how does that work for you?
Well, I'd rather be involved with them in the classroom when they're. I was a junior high math teacher middle school math teacher for 35 years. And so, when I got the kids in high school basketball, I was very familiar with them. So it is kind of a disadvantage, but our assistant coaches are teachers, and they help communicate as far as, bringing the kids up and stuff. But, I think it's changed. Kids have changed. The game has changed. But it's still a fun activity for sure.
Well, I'm glad that you could join us, Fred. I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you, and thanks for being on with us.
Well, thanks, Jackie. You look just the same as you did the last time I saw you.
All right.
Because my eyes aren't as good as they used to be.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and as winter finally lets go, I'm sure your thoughts are turning to outdoors just like mine. And we've got the furniture to make your spring and summer the best ever. We've got furniture from domestic manufacturers as well as imports, and I've got a lot of it in stock. We're showing 120 sets on the floor, the best we've ever had. Please come see us for your outdoor furniture needs at Fireplace Superstore. For great deals on great furniture, come to Fireplace Superstore.
And welcome back to the Central Iowa Sports Network. We are joined by Tom Betts, the president of the Iowa Basketball Coaches Association. So, Tom, how does this whole weekend come together, coordinating so many athletes from so many schools, coaches from across the state, all into one location on this wonderful Saturday?
Well, it's a team effort, definitely. The Iowa Basketball Coaches Association, we've done a good job the last few years of not relying on Don Logan, our executive director, to do all the heavy lifting. So we've got an all-star game committee that organizes not only the coaches early in the year that volunteer their time to not only coach these teams, but really recruit the best, most deserving players from the different areas of the state. And then the people at Dallas Center Grimes do a great job of being our host here. So it's a lot of moving parts, but a lot of cooperation and teamwork that goes together to make this a great event for all the kids that are involved.
Now, how are these teams kind of put together, selected by coaches?
Well, it's a lot, some of it's word of mouth. It's competition. It's kids that are maybe have not only excelled on the court but in the classroom and have represented their schools well. And And so we try to get the not only the best players, but really the best kids that are doing the right things in their schools to represent their area of the state.
And it shows a lot of the talent that is around the state of Iowa. You know, some of the top future college athletes that are coming out of the states. You know, you've got obviously, you know, DJ Carton, Patrick McCaffrey, a couple of the top girls players unable to be here.
Right.
But you've got players going to UNI, Iowa, Iowa State, Ohio State, some D2 schools around the Midwest. It's got to be a great showing and make you proud as the president to have so many great young athletes here this weekend.
We've been blessed for a long time in the state of Iowa with very good basketball and it really kids that play, like you mentioned, at every different level. There's great basketball being played. You know, obviously at the NCAA tournament this week, we've got Iowa and Iowa State representing Northern Iowa, and Drake had phenomenal years at the bigger schools. But we have great basketball at the Division III level, the NAIA level, the Division II level with Upper Iowa, and it's competitive basketball. And there's a lot of kids that could play at a lot of different levels. Some of them go to different schools for different reasons. But you see the wide array of talent being displayed here today, both with the young ladies and the men.
And you mentioned the D3 level. The Iowa Now American Rivers Conference has produced so many great teams. And I just graduated from Wartburg last year, so pretty great on the women's side. 3 Elite 8 appearances in the last 4 seasons, 2 Final Fours. Iowa State women's teams in the NCAA tournament this weekend. Drake just losing in overtime their last game. But it's been a great weekend of basketball in the state of Iowa. And what are your thoughts on how this Saturday has gone so far?
I don't think it could have gone better. We've had great crowds. I know in the past they've only pulled out one side of the bleachers. This year, both sides have been busy. And having the cheerleaders here today, the All-State cheerleaders, we get fans, parents, classmates from all over the state coming here to watch their friends perform and really celebrate success. So I think that really we knocked it out of the park today with the help of so many.
Well, Tom, I want to say thank you for joining us here on CISN, and looking forward to a great second half to finish off this boys championship game.
Definitely been a lot of fun, and thank you guys for your involvement here today. We really appreciate it.
And we are about to get back underway here on CISN as it'll be Northeast Iowa basketball to begin the second half of action. The ball inbounded from one Murray twin to the other, and we're back underway. On the left wing, it's Molstead with the ball. Now back up top, thrown to Runquist. Three-point attempt from Chris Murray, in and out, rebounded by Cole Henry. And he'll bring it back, thrown over to the right side to Pegas. And now around the screen, it was Cornwell. Now Pegas down low, another big dunk. Second of the game for number 32, Keyshawn Pegas from Davenport Central. Molstead into the corner. Runquist, one ball fake, fades away in the post and gets it to fall. So some nice athletic plays to open up in the second half. And I'd like to point out that we started the first half exactly like we started the second half with a big Keyshawn Pegas dunk for the Southeast Iowa team.
Gotta mark that down. 7 dunks.
Molstead stops and hits a nice little floater in the middle of the lane, making it now 67-41 in favor of the Northeast team. Pegas picks up his dribble. Now up top, he'll throw back to him, thrown over his head, out of bounds, so an unfortunate turnover. And some kind of jawing, some nice that's the nice thing about this. You're not seeing a lot of necessarily competition. You're seeing some fun with a lot of these young kids getting to play against guys that they've maybe have never seen before.
Oh, for sure. I do want to tell you, 'cause I don't know if you heard or not, but your girl, Northrop, she's in Barbados or Bahamas, and that's why she wasn't here to play. So, and Fred had said that they practice, they plan to try to get together and have practices, but it's really hard. So he never saw his kids till today. So I'm sure that's the case with all the teams, whether it's the guys or the gals.
Molstead buries another 3. And, it's got to be easier than for some versus others to, make it here. The Southwest Iowa squads had the local kids, players like Colin Lister from Carlisle. You had players from Indianola on the boys' side, Grinnell on the girls' side, which a little bit farther out, but within an hour to get here.
Well, if you look at the Southwest boys, is that what you were just saying, Southwest boys?
Yep.
I mean, they're relatively close together. Then you go to the Southeast boys, and you got Iowa City West, or let's say from, what do we got?
Well, Burlington Notre Dame is about 3 hours away, and then Keokuk is, for the Southwest girls, is for sure 3 hours to get here from the eastern corner of the state.
So they're pretty spread out.
Deep three buried by Bo Cornwell. Another deep attempt for the West Branch senior. And we've talked a lot about the dual sport athletes of Jake Hilmer, number 10 for the Northeast team. Bo Cornwell going to be a dual sport player, football and basketball at Monmouth, the D3 level next year. 19 points per game, 8 rebounds, and led his team in assists at West Branch High School this season.
That must be Monmouth in Illinois, Monmouth
Correct.
College.
As Henry gets another lay-in. And this game has turned into a little bit of a blowout, but still some great basketball here this Saturday. Great for Tom Betts to come by and talk with us about how this weekend gets put together and just the entire aspects that go into it. Henry within the short corner has it knocked away, but able to use that height to go up and tip it away. Unfortunately, right to one Murray twin, and then the other one, laying it back the other way, blocked by Ben Wolgmuth. Henry tried to get the windmill dunk and couldn't get it to fall. Cornwell just kind of flipped it up after it. You were not going to see one of the Northeast Iowa players get in his way. On that one, they were going to let him have the dunk attempt.
It kind of makes you wonder if this was the actual state tournament game, what it'd be like. Because obviously the play would be different. You know, it'd be a little more intense. But with all that talent on the floor, it's just crazy. Oh, there we go.
Keyshawn Pegas with a windmill dunk that Cole Henry couldn't get the last time down the floor. But Pegas showing that athleticism that's making him a sought-after D3 recruit. And a big block from behind, but ends up right in the hands once again of Runquist. He throws it down low, and Keegan Murray can't get the shot to fall. Throws it out to Chris Murray. Now down low to Molstead. Molstead gets the shot to fall.
Nice assist.
30-point game with 13:36 left on the clock. Cornwell getting it down low this time. He's had a couple nice shots from around the basket. Has also hit 2 big threes in this game for an even 10 points at the very least so far. Starting lineup back onto the floor, at least most of it, led by Hilmer and Carter back out for the Northeast team.
Our crowd's kind of thinned down here.
Well, you know, for the last game you had parents, fans, and everyone from probably the girls and boys team as Carter gets another lay-in off a beautiful assist from Hilmer on an alley-oop.
That back screen. I think we also had the cheerleaders, too, that was probably brought in a lot of spectators.
Pegas goes up strong, and he's fouled. He'll go back to the free throw line for a couple of attempts. Just the first foul here in the second half, about 5 minutes into it.
Foul number 10, Jake Hilmer, his first.
Foul called against Hilmer, his first of the game. I don't think we're going to see any player foul out in this contest.
No, I don't think we are either.
As Pegas knocks in the free throw. Pegas undecided on what the future holds for him after averaging 18 points and 8.7 rebounds at Davenport Central. Their season actually ended to Patrick McCaffrey and Iowa City West in districts this season. Down low, Hilmer's pass knocked away from, from Derek Krogman. Hilmer will take the ball out of bounds, gets it back into Krogman. Krogman going to be a walk-on at UNI, another post player that the Panthers are going to land going into next season. Fadeaway three from Hilmer, no good.
Yeah, UNI does a nice job of staying in the state of Iowa. I mean, they do have some players outside the state, but they have quite a few in-state players.
And it's amazing of how well they do recruit with Iowa, Iowa State, and Drake.
Yes.
Also big D1 schools in the area. His three-pointer, no good, out of the hands of Trey Hutchison. It's rebounded by Cornwell, and it's taken away by Hilmer. Hilmer, alley-oop pass, and can't get it to convert was Krogman out of West Delaware. Pegas down low, to Keaton Mitchell, and Mitchell with the dunk. In the corner, Becker, one ball fake, drives in. Picks up his dribble. That's kind of a wild shot. Can't get it to fall. Rebounded by Pegas. Seals up the right sideline. He'll give it off to Cornwell. Cornwell fires another deep three, left that one well short, and it's rebounded by Carter. Carter pulls up, can't get the shot to fall, and it's going to hit the top of the backboard and go out of bounds.
They did a much better job in the first half playing as a unit. Now you're seeing more kind of one-on-one, and some of that probably is fatigue.
Yeah, now you're going to get more into the showman aspect of an all-star game.
Yeah.
Seals drives in, double-teamed, able to dribble through it, keep it alive, and get the ball to fall through the net. Seals, another player that suffered a loss to Cedar Falls in the state tournament this year, losing in the first round to the Tigers coming out of North Scott High School. North Scott, great seasons this year in both girls and boys basketball, winning the 4A title on the girls' side, avenging a trip against Marion. They did not make the state tournament the year before, but the last 2 times they made the state tournament, they've beaten Marion in the state championship.
And Marion was favored.
Yep.
They've been number 1 most of the season.
Well, Marion only lost, 1 game in a 2-year span, and before that state championship game?
Yep, you're right.
And the biggest thing is that North Scott's got their 2 best players coming back next year. And those are 2 players that we could easily see in this game next season.
They probably play in they're a 4A school that probably, well, I'm talking about girls that play in a 5A league. They probably play with the big schools, don't they, with Davenport Assumption, Davenport West, Davenport North, Bettendorf.
Yeah, they lost 3 games in the regular season. They lost 1 to Rock Island out of Illinois. And I can't remember they lost 2 games to a conference team that is a 5A team that lost their only game of the year as a 360 dunk for Noah Carter back on the other side. But the team they lost to went undefeated throughout the entire season before losing in the regional final. And I'm trying to remember I'm trying to remember off the top of my head who it was. As another 3 buried by Bo Cornwell from the right wing.
Maybe this will be a game.
Cutting it down to a 22-point contest. And now Pegas over to Seals. Seals will just lay it in as Becker closed out on him. It's back to a 20-point contest. Hilmer trying to get his team back in sync. And the buzzer's going to go off. 20-point contest, another substitution. As Cole Henry, Ben Wolgmuth, and Dylan Peters will come back in on the other side, and a full substitution coming in for the Northeast team. 69-89, 10 minutes left in the 2019 basketball season in the state of Iowa. At least at the high school level. As we'll see,
exactly.
We'll see what the Hawkeyes men's and women's team as well as the Iowa State women's team can do this weekend as they're trying to continue their big dance appearance in the 2019 NCAA tournament.
I really thought the Cyclones could make a run at something, so it kind of surprised me when they got beat. And I was really surprised the Hawkeyes won just because they've been up and down. So.
And it's the postseason, and it's the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, there you go.
Cutting it under a 20-point contest. Chris Murray driving in, kicking it into the corner. And now it's up to Keegan Murray on the left wing. Molstead up top, back to Chris Murray, into the corner, thrown to Cuvalier. Cuvalier down low to Murray. Murray goes up, shot blocked by Dylan Peters out of Davenport Assumption. And Peters will bring it back down. Henry out on the left wing. Going to work, driving in. Lefty layup from the left. He can't get it to fall. Rebound brought in by Chris Murray. Now fast break opportunity. Keegan Murray crossover. Dribbles in, drops it off for Molstead, and he drives in and gets the layup to fall back to a 20-point lead. Hand the ball up top is number 42, Wolgmuth. Pulls up, can't get the shot to fall, and ended up right in the hands of Cuvalier. Molstead, nice crossover down low, kicks it into the corner. 3-pointer is good. That was Paul Runquist bearing the 3 from the far corner. Seals around the screen from Henry. Will use another one. Deep in the corner, somehow gets the shot up and doesn't hit backboard. Rolls off the rim, no good. Keegan Murray drives in, back out to Molstead. Molstead 29 points per game in the regular season, showcasing it again as he hits another 3. And just like that, it's a 26-point contest once again, an 8-0 run for the Northeast squad.
You know, as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, okay, you want to try to make it as balanced as you can, you know, and so obviously they go by regions, but you can really see where Northeast, I think they have more standout players than what the Southeast has, or appears that way.
And I do think it'd be a very different game if DJ Carton and Patrick McCaffrey were here.
I think you're probably right.
Especially when you consider it's 10 players on 8, so, you know, Southeast has got to be feeling a little fatigued here late in this contest. And, you know, a lot of these guys have seen the floor for most of the game. As Seals pulls up for 3, can't get it to fall.
And really, I don't think it's all about winning, to be honest with you.
It's just about going out, having a good time. As that layup by Murray brings them across 100 points up to 102 now. Seals down low, putting the moves on Molstead and working in against him in the post. No look pass to the corner. Driving in, it's Peters. Peters can't get the layup to fall. Follows his miss, goes against both of the Murray twins and unable to get the shot to go in. Murray thrown ahead to Runquist. Runquist thought about taking a shot against the 6'10 Cole Henry, but reversed the ball instead. Chris Murray from way downtown gets it to fall. 105-73, 6:45 left in this contest. Henry driving in. Falling to his left, can't get the layup to fall as he left it short.
Did he play football by any chance, Cole Henry?
Yeah, he was a starting quarterback at Oskaloosa, actually. Imagine him facing against a 6'10" starting quarterback in high school football.
I can't imagine. Every time we say Oskaloosa, I think of the kid from Sheraton that went to Iowa. I can't think of his name right now because he was football and basketball player for Sheraton. You know what I'm talking about?
I can't remember.
And he's leaving to go pro. I'll think of it.
Shot no good. Oh, T.J. Hawkinson.
There you go. Yep.
Alley-oop is a layup for, that is Keegan Murray, the two, the identical Murray twins. Down low, Henry forcing his way down low, getting the shot to fall. Cole Henry's had a nice game, the 6'10" power forward out of Oskaloosa, the state champions at the 3A level in 2019.
I just think that's so cool how he pledged to the community, and I think obviously he's a role model and a leader amongst his teammates, and probably his examples is what brought them the title home.
And, you know, that's from watching them all season, there's just very few, if any, teams that can deal with their size this season.
Oh, most definitely, because at that level, probably very few, if any.
Yeah. That three's buried by Ben Wolgmuth out of Mediapolis. But, you know, it's not just Henry. You know, Henry at 6'10" would be tough enough as it is. But Xavier Foster at 7 feet tall, one of the top 30 recruits in the country. He's got offers from Kansas, UCLA, obviously Iowa, Iowa State, and every school in between trying to land him. He's got a lot of potential moving forward. And then they also had Ryan Yates, who stood about 6'5", averaged I think 12 a game this year.
That's crazy.
They had another 6'7" player last year's name I can never remember, but he was a senior last season. So they've graduated some very strong players the last couple of years. But Coach Parker from Oskaloosa has, you know, he's right here alongside Coach Spielbauer from Wapello. And he's actually Coach Spielbauer's nephew, is what he told me at halftime of the girls' game. And both of them bringing a player along, Keaton Mitchell out of Wapello, and then obviously Cole Henry from Oskaloosa. Speaking of him, Cole Henry gets that one to fall. Back to a 30-point game as Hilmer drives in, kicks it out. Three-point attempt, no good, left short by Hutchison. Cornwall has it knocked away from behind. And Carter with another dunk on an alley-oop. I wouldn't be surprised if Noah Carter is named as the most outstanding player. And, you know, without Patrick McCaffrey or DJ Carton here, he's probably the biggest name prospect.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's either him or Henry. Those are the two players going D1 next year on a scholarship. And Carton, it's unfortunate we didn't get to see them play as DJ Carton, co-Mr. Basketball, almost 24.5 points per game. Patrick McCaffrey, obviously not enough can be said about him in the season he had at Iowa City West. But they're both going to Big Ten schools as Carton signed on to go to Ohio State next year and play for the Buckeyes. And that's a sour name in the state of Iowa right now.
It is after they beat Iowa State.
Hilmer showcasing some of his dribbling ability, throws it ahead to Carter. Now over a dunk for Derek Krogman. It has been dunk city here in this game, and I would expect nothing less from some of the top athletes in the state of Iowa.
I think I've missed some dunks. I have 10, but I think there's more than that.
Cornwell fading away, can't get the shot to fall. Rebounded by Pegas. Pegas down low, follows his own miss, and gets the layup to fall. Hilmer pushing it hard. And these players are definitely got to be tired right now. Another dunk, this one for Trey Hutchinson. Hutchinson again going to UAlbany out of Linn-Mar High School. Go to New York next year. Henry down low, and one!
I would by far take that Hilmer kid in a heartbeat. He is a definite quarterback, a playmaker. He's a good ball player. And somebody like him probably doesn't get maybe some of the recognition that, you know, when you're a 5'7" kid, or if not 5'7", 6'7", 6'10" kid that gets maybe all the ink.
But I can just imagine him playing at Drake or in Ben Jacobson's offense. Could you imagine 2-3 years from now an offense that has Cole Henry at center, Noah Carter at power forward, and Jake Hilmer at point guard?
It would be a good match to see.
As Hilmer knocks this one away, and then Krogman gets the and one.
I just think he's better than Upper Iowa. And I just know a little bit about Upper Iowa's program because they're in the same league as what Winona State was with the Minnesota schools. He could make some noise.
Yeah, like I said, it's unfortunate he's not going D1, but it is really cool. He's going to get the opportunity to play two sports at a D2 school. I think it's kind of surprising is that he's not doing a Connor McCaffrey type thing and going and playing two sports at the D1 level. I want to know how many offers he had for either sport from D1 schools.
I have no clue. I do know that he played baseball the other day against Simpson when they were getting ready to play for the NCAA first-round tournament. And I really think baseball is his sport from what I understand, that he's a pretty decent baseball player.
And, you know, McCaffrey is going to be a huge member of the Hawkeyes basketball team for the next 3 years, a redshirt freshman this year. And I really think Hilmer is going to make that same type of impact at Upper Iowa in the future.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Noah Carter, just for fun, pulls up from the volleyball line and splashes it home. But what else can you expect from a guy that has played such good basketball, not just this year for Dubuque Senior High School, but in this competition so far this game? As we get our final substitution, as Hilmer and Carter take a seat for the final time, Henry will remain on the floor for as Becker fires the three and as Henry comes up with the rebound. Thrown ahead. Dunk opportunity for Peters, and he puts it home. Dylan Peters out of Davenport Assumption. He's another guy that led his team in just about everything, scoring, assists, rebounding, blocks. And the biggest thing that he played for his dad and got the opportunity to play with his younger brother for 2 years. And his brother is a name to watch out for. I think it's Noah Peters or somewhere around there. As a sophomore this year, was second on the team in scoring, about 15 a game.
And his dad's the head coach.
I believe so, if I remember correctly.
Or he's on the coaching staff. You know, sometimes that's a tough situation, especially if your son or daughter is just a marginal player. But, you know, if they've got the stats and the skills, then there's no question that, you know, they should be on the floor. But it can, I've been in programs where
Cortavius Seals buries the 3, and with that, it's a 22-point game, but both teams across the 100-point mark, and another 3 on the other side.
Murray for 3.
Don't know which of the Murray twins. I believe it was Chris Murray. It is Keegan Murray on the bench here on the final substitution, as we're at about 30 seconds left in this contest. Down low, shot is good for Peters. Ball thrown ahead for Rundquist. Too strong, goes out of bounds. 21 seconds left, 126-103. So probably the final possession of Henry. Pulls up from way downtown, can't get it to fall. And with 10 seconds left, Northeast Iowa could try for one last trick shot, and they do. And it's an air ball. Goes out of bounds. They're going to let the clock roll down to 2.4 seconds left.
They're going to run out.
And that is going to end it. 126-103, the final score here from Dallas Center Grimes High School. The Southeast team winning it in girls basketball, the Northeast team winning it for boys. So we're going to take a quick 1-minute break. We'll be back to take a look at the all-tournament team for the boys squads. You're watching IBCA All-Star Saturday on Central Iowa Sports Network.
Mid-American Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
And we're back here on CISN. Will Turner from the Southwest team, the first.
Davenport Central, Keyshawn Pegas.
Keyshawn Pegas from the Southeast, also named, had a couple huge dunks to open up each of the halves in this game. Cole Henry hearing his name called. A great game for him on the boards, hitting the glass, and then also able to shoot from downtown. Jackson Molstead, the future Wartburg Knight out of Charles City, led 3A in scoring this year, and he's named. Noah Carter. Kind of surprised that he's not named most outstanding player, but got to think Jake Hilmer might hear his name for that as well.
That'd be my vote.
Both athletes have left already from Sioux City West, Cliff McCray.
And two players that have already left, McCray and Vanderloog from Sioux City West, unable to be here. The IBCA Most Outstanding Player, as we've got 5 of the 7 already out there. The Northeast team taking this one 123-102, or 126-102.
At this time, we would like to award the Most Outstanding Player of the 2019 IBCA All-Star Games to Jake Hilmer.
And Jake Hilmer wraps up an incredible senior campaign. You'll see him on the baseball field for North Lynn here in a couple months. But Hilmer, just to recap on what his senior season was like. After losing the state championship at 1A last year, moving up to 2A, did North Lynn 26-0, co-Mr. Basketball. He's a two-sport athlete, committed to Upper Iowa on a full scholarship, all-tournament team captain, led 2A in points with 25.9 points per game, and also with assists, averaged 10+ per game this season.
That was a great selection right there. He was well deserving of it. But sometimes you think the small school kid doesn't get a chance or an opportunity, so I'm happy to see that.
So Jake Hilmer, the most outstanding player of the tournament for boys. Northeast takes the title in 2019 for the boys, Southeast for the girls. And it has been a great day of basketball here on CISN. For Jackie Sapp, I'm Tyler French, signing off on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.